Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to day 86 of my 100-day Live Your Dreams vlog series. So if you're someone who has a dream, you want to make it come true, you want to pursue your passion, you want to create a life around a worthy and meaningful purpose for yourself, and you're not quite sure how to get started, or you've already started but you don't really know what's the next step to take, why are you struggling so much, whether this is the right thing for you, well, I'm here to share my experiences and my learnings on my own journey of living my dreams in the hopes that whatever I've gone through and shared here can help you better frame what you're struggling with such that you can carry on and keep going until you make that dream come true. So if you have any questions about what that is like and what this journey is like and anything relating to anything you're struggling with right now when it comes to living your dreams, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So yesterday I shared about how every single experience that you have in your life is basically created. It's basically a manufactured experience. A lot of times, we look to our external environment and external surroundings to give us the experiences that we are looking for. And we're very easily affected by the things that happen around us, because when something happens, what happens on our end is we usually react to it. It's something we can't really control because it's a product of our past experiences, negative and positive. So when this thing, in our external environment happens, it usually triggers a reaction in us, something that is unconscious and something that, just kind of comes out of us naturally. And because of that, that really determines how we perceive that event. And therefore, that is the kind of experience that we end up creating for ourselves. So as an example, if let's say you're at work and your boss, suddenly calls you into the office and tells you that you're fired. There's an immediate reaction that would happen within us, even though we may not necessarily enact it in real life. So you might still maintain a certain composure because you are at work after all. But inside of you, there's all these things that are going on. And obviously losing your job could be a very devastating thing for most people. But immediately there's a reaction inside. The reaction that comes up inside of us is very different from person to person depending on our past experiences. So for some people, it could be a sense of rejection, like a deep rejection, especially if perhaps you project, one of your parents onto your boss. So you might see it as, it might trigger those emotions of your parent rejecting you when you were younger. For some others, it could be that, your job was something that you worked really hard at and you thought that you deserved, a promotion, but instead you got fired. So there could be that sense of unfairness, a sense of maybe, why does this always happen to me kind of thing. Life is just so unfair to me. And that statement itself, that this is unfair, comes from other incidents in your life where a similar kind of thing has happened, where you thought you were going to get rewarded for something that you did and instead you got punished for it. A simple event, right, that can happen to any one of us, each of us is going to perceive it very differently. And because we perceive it very differently based on the culmination of our past experiences, that creates the current new experience for ourselves. And that's why I say every single experience in our life is really our own creation. A lot of times an unconscious creation because it's a product of, whatever past traumatic or positive experiences that you have, and you are projecting that into the current moment. And as a result, we're not actually able to really create new experiences for ourselves, because what we're really doing is repeating a lot of these old experiences that we have, because however we react to the new experiences is kind of us reliving something in the past that we haven't actually fully resolved yet. Now, I don't want to go too much into the psychology of all this, but essentially what I'm saying here is that a lot of times it is our past experiences, it is our perception of the world, it is our framework, it is our belief system, it is the way we think about things and the way we see things that shapes our experiences of what's happening to us right now. In other words, we're not fully being here in the moment. We're actually lost somewhere inside our psyche, inside our minds, inside our thoughts, inside our emotions that we have not dealt with. And all of that, creates a certain experience that doesn't necessarily align to what is really going on around you. if every single experience in our life is really a product of our past experiences, how then do we really create new experiences for ourselves? How do we start to see things for what they really are, rather than continuing to relive past experiences that we haven't resolved? There's no simple how-to way that can get you out of this, because a lot of the experiences that we have in our past is very deeply rooted inside us, and like I said, it's unconscious. And we're like an iceberg where there's only 1% of ourselves that we're aware of, which is what we're conscious of and what we know of ourselves. And there's 99% of the iceberg that is under the water that we can't even see. And that is, the parts of ourselves that we don't even know, but they are still there and they run us, and we are not aware of them most of the time. And a lot of times why we're not able to take action on the things that really matter to us is also because we are held back by our perception of, from past experiences, and we are projecting that into the current circumstances that we are in now. And this is where the internal barriers also stop us from going after our dreams. Because if, let's say, you have a statement inside yourself that tells you that you're not good enough, and you're not good enough, comes from perhaps, an incident where you auditioned for something or you tried out for a sports team and you didn't make the cut. And that could be one of the many times in your life where it reinforced this statement of you being not good enough. And so when we have a dream and we want to pursue it, every single time we want to take action on it, we are unconsciously reminded of all these other incidents where we tried really hard to get something and we didn't make it, and we bring that forward into the current moment and the current circumstance, and we think that that's what's going to happen again. As much as you might try to deprogram yourself to say that no, this time is going to be different, it is very difficult to let go of whatever it is that has already happened in the past that still has a grip on us. And of course, it takes a lot more work than just, watching a few vlogs or reading some self-help books to get out of that loop that we're in. Ultimately, I think where you can begin right now is to start noticing some of these patterns that you have. Start noticing some of these thought patterns that you have in different situations that you get yourself into, different reactions that you might have towards certain kinds of people or certain kinds of situations. And which experiences do we want more of, which indicates that maybe it was something we didn't manage to get when we were younger, and which ones are we trying to avoid, which means, it traumatized us when we were younger, and that's why we want to avoid those circumstances as much as possible. So it's only when we start cultivating this awareness of ourselves and how we perceive the world and how we react and respond to it that we can start noticing exactly what are the things that stop us from going after our dreams. And we can also start noticing what exactly are the things that could move us forward towards the dreams that you want. When we have an awareness of these things, that is when we can really start to create the experiences that we want in our lives and really start taking control over how we perceive the world, how we perceive ourselves, and take powerful action towards the things that really matter to us. So if you have enjoyed this video today, subscribe to my channel on YouTube or like my Facebook page wherever you're seeing this on. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links, which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. And I'll see you tomorrow.